given what happened in the United Kingdom, the kind of policy mistakes that Neil Khan just referred to, does India's political stability provide additional economic stability more than usual, given the fact that the UK, for example, going through constant political flux? Does that essentially be one of the reasons why India seems to be the one relatively stable economy at this time when so much of the other part of the world is in the kind of turmoil that it is?
I think it certainly is a major factor, and it's not just that the government is stable, but it's doing a lot of things to get the economic act together. Take the PLI, for instance, has been very controversial, but it is a move in the right direction to revive a sector that has been neglected for a very long time, and where we have new opportunities given the entire sort of disruption and a reorientation of supply chains. It's ramped up infrastructure spending and so forth. There are a couple of issues that bother me. One is that despite the government's best efforts, the recovery has been very uneven, right? And I'd just like to remind you of a statement that Mr. Subodh Bhargav made recently about Maruti's plans going forward. And what he was saying is that we are going to expand, we are going to put in money in sort of capital expenditure, but that's largely going to be for SUVs and more expensive cars. The demand for hatchbacks, the small hatchbacks, the compact cars, has simply evaporated. Which seems to suggest that with a combination of the nature of the recovery and inflation eating into people's disposable incomes, we have a very, very uneven recovery. So if the government doesn't sort of address that comprehensively, this recovery might not be sustainable. So that's a risk. I mean, there is considerable momentum and so forth. The other thing that, of course, we need to sort of bear in mind, and I think Neil Khan kind of referred to, is the fact that on the external side, we have certain, very strong sort of pressure points. The large current account deficit and so forth is one. And were there to be a global accident, as you saw in the UK, where a little deviation from the playbook that investors wanted led to that kind of catastrophe. We must also remember the fact that this time around, the traditional playbook for handling crisis, which is to throw money at the problem by central banks, is not available anymore. And I think that's what should keep a lot of policymakers up at night.
If you like the video, do like, comment, share and subscribe.